So, once you've closed off the peer evaluation survey, you have to get the peer response data into Peer in order to upload that into Canvas. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do that uploading process. So, first of all, to get the survey data out of Qualtrics, you start by going to Data and Analysis. You go to Export and Import. You click on Export Data. Just leave these settings as the default, so you want to download it as a CSV file. Now what it will do is that it'll download a CSV file into your downloads folder. I'm just going to cut and paste it onto the desktop so that you can see exactly where it is. So that's this one over here. So after getting the survey data from Qualtrics, we can now use the peer evaluation app to work out the peer scores and then to upload those into the gradebook of Canvas. And the way that we do that is that we go to Peer Evaluation, Stage 3, Finalization, Upload Peer Marks and Comments. So the first thing that you have to do is to select the unit that you're working with, which in my case is the Sandpit unit. You then choose the team assessment. In my case, there's only one team assessment within that particular unit, so there's only one option there. I would choose the Qualtrics file, which of course is this one here on the desktop, which I just downloaded. You can choose the number of points you want the peer evaluation to be worth. I'm going to leave it at 5. You can also select the due date for the peer evaluation, so when you're expecting the students to have completed the survey by. I'm going to leave it at today's date, but you could change it to an earlier date if you had specified that as an earlier due date, and this is used to calculate late penalties in case they submit the survey late. I'm going to leave the scoring policies as their defaults, but in later video I'm going to go into those in more detail, and then I'm going to click on Calculate Marks. Now the other thing that the Peer app does is that it reformats all of the Qualtrics survey data into a new Excel file that is a lot easier to read, and that is very useful for going through all of the qualitative comments and everything and pieces of feedback that the students leave. So I'm just going to save that to the desktop like so, and then it starts to calculate the marks, and then it will start to upload those marks into Canvas. And then as you will see, it would have completed those the upload successfully. Now if we go into Canvas and then go into the gradebook, and you notice that it has uploaded the peer mark into this column here. If you go into the comments, you can it will actually provide the student with the feedback that each of the other students provide. This is probably not a very good example because this student's peers have just written SSS, and then it basically shows how the student's team mark was actually calculated. From all of the other individual scores and the average given to the student for each one of these scores that contribute to the overall peer mark. And of course down the bottom it also explains how the peer mark was calculated from all of the individual scores that they received. Now one good thing to do before you actually release these marks to the students is to have a look through the qualitative feedback that was given to each of the students, just to make sure that there was nothing there that would have been considered particularly offensive or anything. And as I mentioned before, Peer actually automatically creates a new file that basically formats all of the peer ratings and all of the qualitative comments in a way that's a lot nicer to read. So as you can see in this spreadsheet that it's created, it's organized each of the ratings by the person who made the rating, and also by the person who received the ratings. And what you can actually do here is that there are two columns in column M and N that show all of the feedback here. So it's generally a good idea just to go through this feedback to make sure that there was nothing particularly offensive in there. And if you come across a comment that you think was inappropriate, then you could go to the feedback of the person receiving the peer marks and manually delete it from the gradebook.